So would you agree maybe that like when it comes to sexual attraction and dating that people in general need to respect each other's choices and preferences and that sort of thing? The topic really could be anything that you wanted to talk about, but is there anything, Kevin, that you believe, especially something that you are pretty confident in, something you believe strongly, especially if it's important to you?
Yes, sexual orientation today in America.
Sexual orientation stuff?
Correct.
Okay. What is it that you believe about sexual orientation?
Today on sexual orientation, on certain individuals' rights and privacy to make their own decisions and to choose their own mates. It's like in America today, it's a lot of bias and prejudice. I'm not making no legal arguments. And just, a guy getting near a certain a woman or a female, he can make up his mind whether or not that's the right female for him. Or he can opt out and say, no, I don't want this female, or back off. Or he can tell it tonight, politely, or non-verbal communication, I'm not interested in. And I think in America today, that single men have a big problem with women. Some women who are married, some women who are single, and they don't know how to back off from you as a man. Sometimes a man is, years ago, you might have been gullible or you might have been available. When you get older, you think like an older man, not like a younger man. So you still get around some old flames. You was talking about some things that are pretty hot, or pretty argumental in America today. Mm-hmm. And I think on sexual orientation, a lot of single guys in America, they go through a lot of changes. And on the income level, poor, middle class, and rich, just a lot of guys that believe in what they believe in. And it's kind of, America right now is kind of real, too conservative all around America. And you got a lot of women who, when you get near them, they try to get inside your skin without you being even involved with them.
Okay, so are you saying that, you said a lot of things. I kind of want to narrow it down to like one particular topic. So are you saying that there's men need to know when to back off of women when they aren't interested, or was that something that you said,
No,
the
women need to know how to back off the man.
Oh, okay.
When the men ain't interested in them. And years ago, I was a womanizer, and I was just sitting talking with me and a guy over there. Excuse me, I see him sometime. He just asked me how you were doing, what's going on. I ain't seen you. And I just told him, I said, years ago, I was just playing, I told him I'm just a womanizer. So today, I'm not a womanizer.
Okay.
But you still have the same reputation as being a womanizer. And that's why I put it in the sexual orientation classification.
Okay.
So you just, you get near some women, and they know you from years ago.
Mm-hmm. So would you agree maybe that like when it comes to sexual attraction and dating that people in general need to respect each other's choices and preferences and that sort of thing? Okay. So maybe sexual preferences should be respected? Would that be a belief that you have?
Correct.
Okay. All right, I just always want to make sure that I'm understanding what you're saying, and if I ever get anything wrong, just let me know so that I can make sure that we're talking about the same thing, okay? All right, so sexual preferences should be respected. What do you think the main reason is that people should respect each other's sexual preferences?
Well, you can't judge a book by its cover, and you can't judge a man as a teenager or as a young adult, I was totally different. Today, I'm a grown man.
Okay.
So my thinking is a whole lot different. And so, you know, I might see a woman that I dealt with years ago, but we weren't compatible. So it's nothing that's ever going, the fire ain't gonna never get lit again.
Okay. Huh. All right. So you kind of bring up like a personal story that, you know, how you've approached this has changed over your life, right?
Correct. When you change, a woman might see you as a teenager, as a young adult, and you kind of like, wow, and you kind of loose. When you get older, you're not loose, you're not wild.
So people change, and that's the reason. What are the downsides? What are the bad things that can happen when somebody's preferences aren't respected?
Well, you still have a lot of older adults in America, like women specifically, on sexual preferences. And they act like I met a woman not too long ago, she was in her late 50s.
Okay.
And by her actions and her activity, the way she acted, you would think she still was a teenager. And she's been doing this year after year, day after day.
Yeah.
And I told her, I said, sometimes you have to change. And I said, with age, you can't do the same thing every day, day in, day out. So, you know, some citizens change, some citizens don't. But then when some citizens do change, some other citizens still can't respect that they changed their lifestyle.
Yeah. Does that kind of if somebody doesn't recognize that somebody else has changed and they don't treat them differently, does that somehow harm them? Does that harm relationships and that sort of thing? Are you thinking? Like if somebody, like you're talking about older women, if they treat you like you were when you were 20, how does that impact you?
Well, years ago, I was out there. I'm not just being honest. Years ago, I could get pretty much any woman I wanted. But today, I still see some women. But like I said, one day somebody said, if you're not compatible with a person, just leave it alone, walk away. So years later, I might see that same person. We had attraction to each other, but we weren't compatible. We didn't get along.
Okay. Yeah. So when the way that somebody treats somebody doesn't match up with how they want to be treated, possibly, that can lead to conflict? Or
Well, if you in a relationship and you arguing all the time, it's time to walk away.
okay.
So I was in a lot of relationships where I got near women, they were very attractive, but we weren't compatible. We did a lot of arguing, fussing. So, you know, I got older and I got two kids, I got two grown sons now. So, you know, when you see your sons and grandkids, it's a whole different ball game than what it was years ago.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So, just to make sure we're still talking about like the same topic here, this idea that, you know, your preferences and like dating and relationships and sexual whatever, what have you, right? Those preferences need to be respected. I'm still wondering, like, okay, like, I guess maybe on a more fundamental level, like, why should we respect somebody else's desires and preferences?
Because if you walking down a long, straight, narrow path and you trying to stay on the right path, you should respect the other person's situation or his lifestyle. But if you get involved with somebody who ain't doing everything right, sometimes it can sidetrack you and it can alter your thinking. And all of a sudden, you got a habit that you never had. But she got a habit, and all of a sudden, the habit rubs off on you. So, I think I think we need to respect each other. Respect how somebody feels about themselves, and respect others of how they choose to do what they want to do.
Okay. Because what happens if they don't respect other people? Are bad
no,
things might happen, or
I answer that quick.
yeah,
I got a woman that I know, and you talk about a nosy body.
yeah,
And years ago, an attorney told me, he said, Kevin, if you're not compatible with this woman, just leave her alone. But I didn't know what that meant. I didn't know what leave her alone meant. So now, this like 20-some years later, I'm going through a situation with somebody, and just not, I mean, I go to church so I attend church, a Christian church.
okay,
But particularly, I try to get to church every Sunday. So going back to the point, the attorney told me something years ago. So now I got somebody, and I don't know what the purpose or what the thoughts are.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm in a situation where I mean, like say you sitting right here, and I walk down the street and I see you down the street. Then when I get to my apartment in my room, I see you again. So I got a woman that if I go down the street, I'm gonna see her. Then when I go to my apartment, she out there. So the same.
like is she like following you, or
Correct.
oh, okay,
I mean, you know, I mean, when I was out there, I was very. I mean, I'm not saying I'm not still attractive and gullible, but when I was out there, you know, I know how to. If I get near a woman, pretty much, you know, if that's what I wanted, you know, I could pretty much satisfy them, this and that. So going back to the thesis, what I'm telling you, just, you reap what you sow. The same thing I was telling attorney years ago, where he was telling me, Kevin, just stop bothering her. You and her are not compatible. Kevin, leave her alone. But
so now you can kind of see on the shoes on the other foot kind of situation.
Correct.
She's not leaving you alone, right?
Just with somebody,
a different person,
race,
yeah.
everything. And I'm like, what is purpose, or what's the problem? If I see, like I said, if I see you after I give them this interview, say if I keep on seeing you day after day, I mean, I'm automatically gonna think something in my head. So just sometimes I go through things that years ago I've been through a lot, and I learned my lesson. And then as my kids got older, my boys at first, it was a hard relationship. As they got older, it was hard. But recently, my boys kind of come over the bridge.
Okay.
And we got the relationship kind of even out. So once that happens, you know, if you got grown sons, I ain't got no girls, 2 grown sons, it kind of makes you think. And you know, I mean, you know, I'm not crazy as where I used to be. Where I use more common sense. You know, when I talk to my son, he kind of like, he's not a mentor, but one of my sons is pretty, he got some pretty strong opinions. And, you know, it kind of rubbed off on me. So when you see somebody, when I get out near a woman, it's not the same feeling after, you know, I got a son, plus I got plenty of grandkids. So when you see that, it's a whole different.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't get out and see a woman, and all of a sudden I'm attracted because I got this boy, or I got this young man, he got kids. Then I got another boy, he got kids. So they my grandkids.
Yeah.
So you spend time with children. You get near somebody that's a woman, it's a whole different. I mean, you know, my thoughts don't. I'm not like. I'm not into one night stands. I tell you that up front. I don't do that anymore. But, you know, you just after you basically my son set examples for me and changed my whole thinking with females.
Yeah, and so, yeah, and if there were a woman who wasn't respecting kind of where you're at in life, right, that could possibly have negative consequences with your relationship with your sons and your grandkids and that sort of thing. Is
oh no, you just when you meet a woman today, it ain't like the 70s and 80s.
right.
So this is 2023. So in the 70s and 80s, you could pretty much do this and do that. When it's 2023, it's a whole, I mean, it's a totally different scenario. And, you know, just, you have, I mean, you know, I have seen women I like, and we talk, but that was the end. I mean, it's just conversation, and I walked my way, and she walked her way.
Yeah. Gotcha. Okay. All right. Well, do you have any other thoughts on this topic?
Just enjoying myself by you letting me sit here and express my opinion.
Oh, you're welcome.
And then the other thing is that, you know, I guess in America right now, with relationships with men and women, it's kind of off the hook all around America. You got a lot of jealous guys, you got a lot of jealous women, and it's here in the last few weeks or the last few months, it's been a lot of tragedies in America with women and men who are married and some even who are not married. So I like to bring that up.
Yeah. Yeah, that a lot of trust issues maybe potentially between people. There's a lot of jealousy. I think that's kind of where that jealousy comes from, is a lack of trust
Well,
in the relationship.
that's why I'm kind of, you know, I don't, today I'm not really thinking, even if I had said, if I get to a point where I'm financially set, as far as a woman, that's way back there in my priority.